Let's talk about what to do if your ads are wasting money and not getting you coaching clients. This is a very common thing that a lot of coaches have. So today we're going to talk about how to fix it and figure out how to turn these ads profitable. So here's the three biggest problems a lot of coaches have when they're running their ads. Number one, they just don't get clients. They're just spending money. Nothing's working. They don't know why. And so number two, the second part of that problem is they're not sure what to fix. So they just let it spend or they just shut it off, right? And so neither of those two are very smart. It's like, well, why didn't it work? What do we do? And then the third thing a lot of coaches do, they just blame it on their audience. They're like, they're not, my market's not there. My market's not buying. These people don't want what I have. When in fact, that's the furthest thing from the truth, because I bet you, if you really dug in, you could find dozens and dozens of other coaches who are running ads in your exact niche. So it is working, it's just not working for you. And we have to figure out why. So what I want to do is I want to explain to you exactly what we do when our ads are not working. So the first thing you need to do, there's three things you need to do, okay? You need to realize it's what's called a KPI problem. Now, what does KPI stand for? It stands for Key Performance Indicators. Now, what does that mean? Well, here's the thing. When you run your ad, it's not just that nothing ever works. It just could be that there's a breakdown somewhere, and that somewhere has to be fixed. And we're going to talk about what those KPIs are and how to fix them, okay? The second thing you need to do is you need to obviously optimize each of these KPIs. Now, then the third thing is, let's break them down. So when you get a click and somebody sees your ad, you want to have about 1% of anybody who sees your ad click it, okay? We've found that that's a really good metric. If it's lower than that, Facebook seems to charge more. And if it's higher than that, you get a great, Facebook will reward you for getting a higher percentage of people to click on your ad. Why? You gotta remember, Facebook needs your ad to be relevant, because when people are scrolling on Facebook, if they see ads that are completely irrelevant to them, guess what they're gonna do? They're gonna start going to other platforms, right? They're gonna spend more time on TikTok or wherever they do, because Facebook's not the only option anymore. And so they're going to go over there. And so it's vitally important that your ad is relevant, because Facebook will reward you for that. And they'll be like, hey, this ad's relevant. This ad's really good. We're going to reward you with a lower cost per click. So we need that 1%. The second thing we want to have is at least 10% of people registering for that webinar. Okay? Why 10%? So we want 10% of everybody who clicks on your ad to register for ideally whatever it is you're selling, whatever it is you're offering them, like their name, email type thing. And that gives us a good indication of your message to market match. So we want it to be really solid. Okay, if it's less than 10%, then it's like there's something that is pulling in the wrong people that they're not wanting to register. So 10%, ideally 20%, okay? Because then what that shows us is when they click your ad and go to your registration page, they feel congruent. They feel like what I read on the ad matches what I'm registering for. All right? Now, if you're running a webinar or whatever, let's say, whatever kind of lead magnet you have, we recommend webinars because they create the best way to bond with people and they can consume it, right? But let's just hypothetically say that's what it is. You're going to run them to a webinar, maybe it's automated, I don't know, whatever you're running them to. You want to get 10% of everybody who registers for your stuff to book a call, 10%. So that means that if you get 10 webinar registrations or 10 registrations, you want at least one call, all right? Now, those calls, most of them should be qualified. And so then obviously they show up, and you want about a 70 to 80% show up rate on all your calls. So those are the KPIs. Now, there are more and there's more detailed ones, but those are the main ones that you need to use. So now that you have them, what do we do with them? How do we optimize them? Well, what it does now is it helps you to understand that if nothing is working, if you're not booking calls to get qualified people, it's not that everything is broken. It's probably that there's some things that are not optimized within your funnel, and we have to fix those things. Okay, so how do we fix those things? Well, the first thing we need to do is we need to look at your audience and go, is your audience right? Are you targeting the right people? Are the settings in Facebook right? Because if your settings in your ad are wrong, it's going to attract the wrong people. So is the settings correct? The second thing we need to do is then go, all right, is your audience good? Do you have the right audience? Did you target the right people? And then the third thing we do is go, what about your ad? Is your ad getting that 1% click-through rate? If it's not, is it because the audience is bad, or you set things up wrong on Facebook, or it's just a bad ad? So then we're going to tweak that ad. We're going to make it better. You see what we're doing? We're starting here, and we're just building on these layers. And then once we fix the registration page, the next thing is we go, the ad, the next thing we go to the registration page. Is the registration page qualified? Is that good? Is it matching what's happening on the ad? If not, how do we fix it? How do we tighten it up? Can we test different versions of it so that it matches? So when they click that ad, they hit that registration page, they're like, this is exactly what I want. Where have you been all my life? Okay? Then the next thing is we go to whatever you have after that. Let's hypothetically say it's a webinar or whatever. Is the show up rate at least 70%? Are they consuming this? Because you got to realize just because they register means nothing. If you're giving them a cheap, a low value thing like an ebook or just, hey, watch this 5-minute video and book a call, they're not consuming anything. They just clicked an ad and now they're watching this 5-minute video and now you're trying to get them to book a call. It's really hard to do. So the question is, how do we build that relationship so that they want to book a call and they feel like they know and trust you? So that's what we have to do there. Then the next thing is, are they actually showing up? And so what I'm trying to help you understand is there's each of these little things we have to find, is there a breakdown in them? And if there is, how do we fix it? So this way, we're not just gonna like chuck the whole thing out, forget about everything, or rebuild everything. Because the problem with rebuilding everything from scratch is that what you do, every time you do that, you don't know if you're taking out something that was actually working. Because what if your registration page for whatever it is you have actually was working, but you had a bad audience and you had a bad ad? If you just wipe everything out and start over, you'd never known that. You know what I'm saying? So we have to make sure we're being very strategic. Now, I'm going to tell you the secret to all of this. There's one secret that most coaches miss, and 99% of them don't know how to do this. I'm going to share that with you. But before I do that, I need you to do 2 quick things. The first thing is hit the like button on this video. Somewhere around here is a like button. I need you to hit it so I know you like this video so I can create more of them, okay? The second thing I need you to do, hit the subscribe button. There's a subscribe button around here. Just hit that real quick. The reason why it's so important that you do that is because I have a whole bunch of more videos coming down the pipeline in production, and they're designed to help you hopefully get more coaching clients who are qualified, who want to work with you. I spend around $1 million a year on Facebook ads, building my coaching business, and work with a lot of coaches over the course of a year. And I take what we're learning by helping them, our own stuff, and I put it into these Facebook or these YouTube videos for free to help you. There's no cost, obviously, and so there's no reason not to hit the subscribe button, because if you don't hit it, you're not going to know when the next ones are going to come out, and you're going to miss out on very valuable information that costs me a lot of money to get, and it might actually be the one thing that can get you to the next level and grow your coaching business. So click that subscribe button right away. Now, the final thing you need to realize is this is all about testing. 100% test, test, test. And a lot of coaches get discouraged. They're like, I tested a new registration page and it failed. So my market isn't working. Sometimes you got to test 5, 10, 15, but that's okay. The secret is to know what to test and when, and then that way you can optimize it. So do not give up. Persistence and testing is the secret, and make sure you're testing the right thing at the right time. Now, I want to give you something that's hopefully going to help you with this. I have an upcoming webinar called the 300-word Facebook ad template and snowball system I've used to grow my coaching business to where it is today. And it's from spending, just in the last couple years, about 3 years alone, $2.8 million on ads. And I take what I've learned and distilled it into what's working now and the myths that coaches are believing that's causing them to lose money, and the stuff that's being taught that doesn't work at all in this webinar. And if you click the link in the pinned comment section, you can register for it and get on there and learn all these secrets that you can hopefully use to implement and get your coaching business to the next level and start attracting qualified clients. So click the link below in the pinned comment section. We'll see you on that webinar.